The Haunting of Room 616. I'm a journalist, always on the hunt for the next big story. Urban legends and ghost stories have always fascinated me, but none more than the tale of Room 616 in the Grand Orion Hotel. Built in the early 1900s, the Orion was the epitome of luxury, but it had a dark secret. Room 616 was always kept locked, and the few who entered were never seen again. The mystery gnawed at me until one day, I decided to investigate. I booked a room at the Orion under a pseudonym, armed with a notebook, a digital recorder, and a camera. Checking in, I couldn't help but feel a chill as the receptionist's friendly demeanor faded when I asked about the 6th floor. "Oh, it's closed for renovations," she said quickly, eyes darting away. Her forced smile didn't convince me. Determined, I waited until midnight when the hotel was quiet. With my gear in hand, I made my way to the 6th floor. The hallway was eerily silent, the air thick with an oppressive stillness. Room 616 was at the far end, its door pristine yet foreboding. I picked the lock, a skill picked up from my investigative work, and the door creaked open. Inside, the room was immaculate, preserved as if time had stood still since its last occupant. Antique furniture, a 4-poster bed, and an ornate mirror reflected the dim light from my flashlight. As I stepped inside, the door slammed shut behind me with a force that rattled the walls. Panic surged through me. I rushed to the door, twisting the knob and pounding, but it wouldn't budge. My breath quickened as I felt the room grow colder. The air seemed to thicken, and I could hear whispers, faint and indistinct, growing louder by the second. I turned and my heart nearly stopped. The room had changed. The bed was disheveled, the furniture askew. The mirror was now cracked, and a dark stain spread across the carpet. Shadows moved along the walls, and the whispers coalesced into chilling voices. "Welcome," they hissed in unison. My journalist instincts kicked in, and I began recording everything. "This is Daniel Harper," I said, my voice trembling. "I'm in room 616 of the Grand Orion Hotel, and something is very wrong." Suddenly, the lights flickered, and the room plunged into darkness. My flashlight flickered back to life, revealing a figure standing by the bed. It was a woman, her face pale and eyes hollow. She wore a tattered dress, her hair hanging in damp strands. She pointed to the mirror. "Help us," she whispered, her voice echoing with despair. I approached the mirror, my reflection distorted and twisted. The woman appeared behind me, her eyes pleading. "We're trapped. They won't let us leave." "Who?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "They," she replied, pointing to the shadows that now swirled around the room. I turned, and the shadows coalesced into monstrous forms, twisted, malevolent spirits with glowing eyes and gaping mouths. They advanced, and I felt an icy grip around my throat. My vision blurred, and I fell to my knees. Desperation clawed at me as I fumbled with my equipment, capturing every second. "This is real," I gasped. "Room 616 is a trap. They're here. They're—" Before I could finish, the spirits lunged. I screamed as they engulfed me, their cold touch burning like fire. My mind was a whirlwind of fear and agony, the room spinning as I was pulled into darkness. When I awoke, I was lying on the floor, my body aching and my mind foggy. The room was silent, the shadows gone. I scrambled to my feet, the door now ajar. I didn't wait to question my luck. I fled the room, racing down the hallway and back to my own room. I bolted the door behind me, my heart pounding. I reviewed my recordings, but the footage was distorted, the audio a garbled mess. The only clear segment was my voice saying, "This is real. Room 616 is a trap." The next morning, I checked out, my hands still trembling. As I left, the receptionist watched me with an unreadable expression, as if she knew what I had seen. I drove home, vowing to uncover the truth about room 616. Days turned into weeks as I researched obsessively. I discovered a pattern. The disappearances in room 616 coincided with significant events in the hotel's history. Each victim had reported the same phenomena: whispers, shadows, and the woman in the mirror. I reached out to paranormal experts, historians, and even psychics, piecing together the dark history of the Grand Orion. It was built on the site of an old asylum where patients were subjected to brutal treatments. The spirits of those tortured souls lingered, trapped in a pocket dimension within room 616. Determined to free them, I gathered a team: Sarah, a historian; James, a paranormal investigator; and Maya, a psychic. We devised a plan to enter room 616 together, hoping to confront the spirits and break their hold on the living. We checked into the Orion under false names, our gear hidden in our luggage. At midnight, we made our way to the 6th floor. The air was thick with anticipation and fear. We entered room 616, the door closing behind us with a finality that made my heart sink. The room was as I remembered, but the atmosphere was heavier, more oppressive. We set up our equipment, cameras capturing every angle, recorders ready to document the voices of the dead. Maya stood by the mirror, her eyes closed, her face pale. "They're here," she whispered. "They're waiting." The lights flickered and the temperature dropped. Shadows danced along the walls, and the whispers began. The woman appeared, her eyes filled with sorrow. "Help us," she pleaded. "We will," I promised, my voice steady. "Tell us how." The spirits surged, their forms more distinct and terrifying. They clawed at us, their touch freezing and painful. Maya convulsed, her eyes rolling back. "They're angry," she gasped. "They want revenge." "On who?" James shouted, setting up protective wards. "On the living," Sarah replied, her voice trembling. "On anyone who enters this room." We huddled together, the spirits closing in. My mind raced, searching for a way to break the cycle. Then it hit me, the mirror. It was a portal, a conduit for their rage. If we could shatter it, perhaps we could free them. "Break the mirror!" I shouted. James swung a chair, smashing the glass. The room erupted in a maelstrom of shadows and screams. The spirits howled, their forms disintegrating. The woman smiled, her face peaceful as she faded away. The room fell silent, the oppressive weight lifting. We stood, trembling but unharmed. The mirror was shattered, its pieces reflecting our stunned faces. We had done it. We had broken the curse. We left the hotel that night, vowing never to return. The Grand Orion closed room 616 permanently, its dark history sealed away. But the experience left a mark on us all. We had glimpsed the darkness that lurked beyond the veil, and we knew it could never be truly banished. As I write this, I can still hear the whispers, faint and distant. The spirits may be free, but their memories linger, a chilling reminder of the horrors hidden in the shadows. And somewhere, in the darkness, room 616 waits, its door locked, its secrets buried. But I know, deep down, that the story isn't over. The spirits may be gone, but the room remains. A trap for the curious, a portal to a dimension of eternal torment. And in the stillness of the night, I wonder how long before it claims its next victim.